All right, what is going on? Welcome to the channel. All right, so we're putting FSDBETA through a little challenge here. We're actually on Beach Drive here in Washington, D.C. And this is quite a curvy, back, narrow road. And I want to show you how FSD is working its magic. It's not quite magic. There's a lot going on behind it. Starting with the steering wheel nag, which apparently is going away soon. But as long as it's here, it keeps the human active. Pretend it's not here and pretend I'm not here, and you can see what a quick glimpse of Robotaxi may look like. So yeah, we actually had a big thunderstorm here last night. Look at FSD doing a major slowdown here. Here we go. And a lot of trees were knocked down, heavy lightning. Even the building I live in lost power yesterday. And we got it back shortly after. It wasn't that bad. But it was a treacherous downpour. So imagine, you know, Robotaxi in the car. There's already been some situations where I had to take over earlier because there was a tree down and things like that. But, you know, in a Robotaxi situation, there won't be any human in the car to take over. So we're going to really test out the scenario here. Look at this car just blocking my... Come on. All right, so we're going to have to take over there. Unfortunately, that person didn't understand the logic of how a stop sign works. But yeah, here we go. We're back using FSD, and we got some really narrow turns ahead here. So right then and there, you know, is a perfect example of what, you know, that driver did. Was they were pulling out, you know, made it almost impossible for me to continue, yet I had the right of way. As you can see, the drivers behind me even continued as I did. And probably what a Robotaxi situation would have done there is it would have stopped. It would probably let that lady go, and then it would have continued, which would have gotten honked at and whatnot. You know, she would have been like honked at too. So it would have been like a weird scenario there. So you can already see one situation happened where Robotaxi may not have worked out, so to say. Or it would have just been like everyone's pissed off and then it worked. Which, you know, we'll take that as long as it's safe. Alright, so here we go. We're back in action. FSD is rocking it. It's doing a really good job back here. And yeah, as you can see, there was a little branch down on the other side, and that car got over the yellow line. So this is the National Zoo. Oh, it totally missed that. Oh, and this one, okay, the speed hump could have done way better at. Totally missed the first one, which, you know, could be bad for your suspension or something. Luckily, it was one of those bigger ones and didn't affect it as much. But yeah, it's really case by case scenario. You know, it's hard to do like a one size fit program FSD that fits for everyone. But that's what Tesla is trying to accomplish, and very ambitiously is doing. I was able to test out Model X recently with FSD, and I was taking some of the similar routes that I take normally in my car, and I noticed the behavior of FSD, like taking turns exactly just like how it would in the Model 3, and it was pretty astonishing to see the way it was handling that. It was like almost like I knew. I'm like, okay, I know the car is gonna go sharp right now, and it did like exactly how my Model 3 would do. And yeah, it's like really cool to see like a one size, you know, program that's gonna fit for everyone. Right now it works with humans intervening in situations where they need to, but we're trying to build towards a Robotaxi moment here. So who knows, you know, how is that going to look like? What is that going to be? What do you think? Like, if you have a Tesla, like say you own a Tesla and Robotaxi becomes available, would you want to put your car out there and pick people up and use it as like a money-making side hustle? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, this is sort of the vision for Tesla, maybe to compete into like the rideshare market with Uber and Lyft, and really, you know, try to tackle a new vertical. But at the same time, he did say like, oh, there would be some kind of split off with the money, like whatever the car earns, like maybe 75% of it the driver keeps and 25% Tesla keeps. So that's a huge moneymaker for both the company and for the car owner, which this is the only claims of autonomy to be actually profitable in some sense, because right now it's just like a, yeah, you see what it's doing here too in the tunnel, acting a little up. But what do you think about the possibility of making money off your car? Would you even like want other people in your car? Like, what if there was a way like you could maybe like block off, you know, like these three seats back here and the passenger seat, so that way people coming in could like never get into your driver's seat? I don't know, a lot of thoughts behind there. You know, I don't know, if you had it like blocked off like this, it would almost feel like a cop car. I don't think that would be very entertaining to get into. But I do believe that's what it's like for the Cruise, Waymo, I don't even know who makes it. It's like the driverless cars. They got them in San Francisco. I think they're doing it in Phoenix. I mean, astonishing what it's able to accomplish. I studied some of those videos to see how it reacted in certain situations like FSD would, and I was really impressed. Now, if you've ever seen one of those cars, it's got a giant sensor on the top of the vehicle. It's got about 32 cameras around the car. And then it's got sensors, radars in every angle you can think of. Alright, so let's compare that to Tesla with 8 cameras and a couple ultrasonic sensors, which aren't even being used. Really interesting to say. I mean, I can imagine the cost for that is astonishingly expensive, and you probably, you know, it's going to be hard to make that into a daily driver until they can just use it as in picking people up. They're really trying to see a future of people without a car. It sounds like that's what the big automakers are looking at. They almost want to make it so you don't even have to own a car anymore. It almost makes me think for myself too, like, what am I gonna do in that situation? I don't know. If it's profitable, then of course I would like to be in that situation, but I can't imagine that my car will pass a certain amount of miles till robotaxi is actually available. Plus, then imagine the amount of miles that you would accumulate using robotaxi. Your car would go to shit like in no time. So like, I don't know, there's a lot, like, you know, riding on that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is that something that you really expect to see? Is that something that you want to see? Is that something you're hoping to participate in? Drop a comment, hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more. Appreciate you watching, and hope you have a great rest of the day.